Hello, I just wanted to make a video about my NJ tube. I meant to make one earlier when I had it placed. I've had it in since the 29th of August, and it's now the 13th of September. Anyway, basically what it is this is an 8 French tube. There's one for adults that is a 10 French, and it's a little bigger. And I was worried about my overly active gag reflex keeping the tube in, and so I went with the 8 French. I actually asked if they would do a pediatric one, but I have Harrington rods in my back for scoliosis and spinal fusion, and so I'm a little extra tall in the middle, and a pediatric one wouldn't be long enough. So here's my 8 French. I think it's similar in size to like the charging cable of an Apple device. Maybe just a hair skinnier, if that gives you a size reference. Basically, I have the feeding tube in for an elimination diet to figure out what foods I'm orally sensitive to versus on a skin test, because there's a difference there. I have Eosinophilic Esophagitis, EOE, and Eosinophilic Gastroenteritis, there we go. So I have eosinophils that are in my stomach and small intestines as well. I'm currently on Dexilant, which is treating the eosinophils in my esophagus, but that doesn't mean that the trouble swallowing and other issues associated with eosinophils goes away. So anyway, that's the story behind why I have the feeding tube. And mine, I don't know what brand this is, but it's got 2 little port things here. And my system, or my pump that I have set up with this, is the Kangaroo Joey pump. And let me flip the camera around over here, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. Should be easier. Anyway, maybe I'll turn it this way. So what it means is that I've got 2 bags. It's called the pump and feed bag. And one is filled with water, and then the other is usually filled with formula. And I haven't set up my bag for today yet, so I'll do that in a little bit. My pump here, I have it covered because in order to get my feeds running all night, I have to sometimes sit in the recliner and sleep while it's running. Reason why is because they want you at a 45-degree angle or more so that you don't have any problems with aspirating while you're sleeping. And like I said before, I have Harrington rods in my back, spinal fusion, and the whole 9 yards, so it's exceptionally hard for me to sleep on 2+ pillows at night. Well, I have a very thin foam pillow, and that's it, and I'm very content and happy with that. So anyway, that is why it's not working out so swell in bed, running my feeds at night. And at night, the LED screen and everything on that is ultra bright, and so I cover it with a dish rag and some masking tape so that I don't have to see it all night. Let me turn it on for you so you can see what it looks like. Now, it always lets me keep the settings or clear the settings, and I always clear the settings. And I can run you through this in another video on how to run the pump and how to get it all set up. The flush is very important. Powering off, you just hold the power off button, here we go, until it says 1, and then let go. Otherwise, it will turn itself back on, as silly as that sounds. And then that wastes your battery. This pump will run without the battery, or without the AC wall adapter plugged in, for a pretty good chunk of the day. I usually keep it plugged in at night and then unplug it and throw it in a backpack, and I'm good to go for the day. Oh, want to bring up about the tube. So it was placed on a Wednesday, and I'm shocked that they were able to place it first off, because I was very nervous about it. Like I said, I have very good gag reflex, even though nothing else seems to work right in my throat. But they had some numbing gel, like lidocaine, in a little syringe, and they asked me to snurf it up my nose, which gel doesn't really snurf, so I don't feel like it went anywhere higher than my nose. And it worked really well. It caused a lot of burning and pain instantly, and then the burning and pain went away and the numbing was there. Because this portion of your nose hurts the most for when you're inserting the tube up. Anyway, you feel it as it goes down your throat, but my best tip and clue, I guess, for anybody else getting it placed would be to breathe out as they're putting the tube down and to swallow. Like focus, breathe out, and swallow, and it helps the tube go down way faster, way smoother. They did run into a problem with my tube. I have a deformity in my small intestines, like right at the entrance, and so it took them about 8 tries of kind of like dental floss, or pulling it out, pushing it in, pulling it out, pushing it in, to make it around the edge of my stomach and then back like an S pattern into my small intestines. But I got it placed, and in all record timing, all of this occurred in less than 5 minutes. So that gives you hope if you're really concerned about getting a tube placed. This was done in interventional radiology at an IHC hospital down in Murray, and they did a phenomenal job. Other than that, I pretty much lived on pectin, fruit breezer throat drops just to soothe my throat and, stop that gaggy effect that you have for having a tube in your throat that your body's not accustomed to. It's like a foreign object. And by the 3rd day when I woke up, it was like, okay, I can do this. I got this. It was no longer a bother that it's in my throat. There is kind of a cool factor to it that you can see the tube in the back of your throat when you open your mouth. I don't know if we've got enough light to do this, but we'll see. Maybe with a flashlight. There we go. Okay, so yeah, you can see it. Anyway, like I said, at this point, the tube doesn't bother me being in the back of my throat. I'm nothing by mouth at the moment other than what I'm adding in for my elimination diet. Solely on formula, and I'm on Kate Farms formula. The 1.0, they've got billing codes somewhere on the box for your insurance so that they'll pay for it. I was actually drinking Kate Farms orally before I had the NJ tube placed. And this is definitely palatable. I thought it was maybe the formula because, and this is vanilla. I've tried both the vanilla and chocolate, and I prefer the vanilla. But I think it's actually something with my throat. I've got mast cell disease and a lot of other things going on. And so it burned a little bit in the back of my throat when I swallowed. And it has a slight aftertaste, but all in all, it's very palatable for someone like myself who doesn't even like to do liquid medication, so put it that way. I am not your Dimetapp, Robitussin, NyQuil gal at all. Anyway, each carton is 325 calories, which I wish it were a little more because I found a flaw in my feeding tube system. Basically, because of that deformity in my small intestines, I have a very hard time increasing my rate to a high enough rate, or at least my goal rate of 250 or 215 or something up there, without causing it to pool in my small intestines and back up into my stomach and then back up into my esophagus and burn. So that's just a problem myself. I doubt that's a problem the general population experiences with an NJ tube. In fact, my nutritionist said the NJ tube was more highly recommended than the NG that just goes into your stomach because it's less likely of a chance that you're going to get sick from, like, say you don't agree with the formula or whatever. Being all the way down your small intestines, it's a very slim chance of puking the tube back up. So anyway, I have to say the NJ tube is far better for that reason. I'm very glad it's not just hanging out in my stomach, and my stomach is where half the issue was, so we bypassed it altogether. Anyway, Kate Farms Core Essentials, that's the formula that I have. They just delivered a whole month's supply of it. Hopefully I'm not making you all seasick. And in my next video, I'll show you how to prep and prime the pump and set it all up. Thanks for watching.